Hello! We've got a Testulous game going. Team 1AS, Team 2OSP. It's a 3K4 v 12K Internet Explorer. He's rocking a Testulous branch, 12K. It's got lots of stuff and things. We're gonna get a closer look at that. Cellos, plasma, lots of monitors. Some of the gun, the bomb, in particular. Team 1 ANS, Herman Lobster, Xenophon, and Amphia, who is 3 gets. Looks like ANS is spreading out over the map. We're gonna change the music situation here. Let's get my footbar to actually open up. I'm now on the beam and rail battleship? Why is Lobster trolling me? It's great in the map. I wonder what it's disguised as. Don't know. Maybe an expert? We'll see. So, beam rail battleship with lots and lots of stone walls, defenders on the hips. Extra antenna in the antenna spot. One PD escort, one Sarissa Reigns floating around. Don't see those that much anymore since containers have a tendency to be not so great. That's cool. Xenophon bringing a straight up frig blob. Is that what this is? No. Okay, it's a capping frig team with gun frigs, lots of gun frigs, and then spotting sprinters with missiles on them. Okay. 3 Cats has double fighting voxels with an S3H backpack, presumably. Oh yeah. Different versions of them. One E-War sprinter. 2 jams, 1 bullseye, and a chat box, or maybe an arming missile.
The enemy is securing zone Comet. The enemy is securing zone Dagger. The enemy is securing zone Eclipse.
Large volume of sprinters, looking like, okay, he's got a missile swarm. I've seen this before. So these are like standoff missile sprinters that got a lot of E-links on them, I believe. No, this group doesn't. Yeah. Just not all of them have E-link. Got it. Some jammers. It's meant to get tracks and then fire down the LLB. Hopefully dumpster nerds. Let's get through Internet Explorer's fleet. Things are going to start heating up here real quick, so we're going to have to be fast. 2 450 SLOs with a couple Sarissas on them, some Auroras, Floodlights, Anti-Jam, Bullseyes. Not that ready for heavy-duty S3H strike, but we'll see. Internet Explorer's a pretty good player. He's also got some AMMs that'll help a lot, so I'm sure he hasn't made that oversight. Plasma with backpack containers, decoys?
The enemy secured zone Comet. The enemy secured zone Dagger.
2 plasma 100mm backpack. Well, I guess just decoy containers. It's not really like offensive. Usually backpacks are offensive. 2 250 bulkers. 1 C30 EWR tug, so armed EWR tug. Gun shuttle. Wait, a bunch of gun shuttles. Yeah, 4 gun shuttles. And then some anti-small monitors spread around the map with the bomb and T-30s on them. Not that much point defense. It's kind of a multi-mission monitor. It's comparable to the multi-mission tug with 1 piece, 1 pinpoint, and then DACA on the front end. No missiles though. Those A-gaps getting knocked out by the large volley of fire from the voxels and a few missiles. Xenophon heading over to Alpha. I don't think she's gonna make it though. Not really. Let's see what's going on here. Internet Explorer spreading out all over the OSP side of the map. In really, really good shape. Just needs that Alpha cap to secure this. Lead. He's not gonna get it, unfortunately. The pupil at her has made it on the point and is gonna gap it. Voxels and the Solomon have sieged. Man, the Solomon is still not turned around. What kind of engines you got in here, Chief? 1 whip. 2 raiders. Damn. That is a Chungoboid. Very fast, but very little rotation. Missile dump at one of these cells. Let's see how well it does.
Enemy secured Zone Atlas.
Oh, I don't think this is going to do well at all. Oh, those AMMs are command AMMs. Pretty good, not bad. Just some damage in the reinforced DCs, which is ain't nothing but a thing. More DC damage. Trying to use the floods to spot the sprinters, but just can't. The damn things are so tiny. They've got a ton of jamming. Also still controlling the lower alpha side of the map. Also, yes, I did mute the in-game nebulous music for nebulous music I can actually control and isn't just going to be the same combat music playing permanently because the spectator music detection is scuffed. Beam coming out! Killing the black cat from that masqueraded beam Solomon. I still don't know what it's masquerading as. That needs to be a UI element. You had to be able to mouse over the masquerade deception module and it just show what you're masquerading as. In my opinion. But what do I know? Another missile strike. Herman doing the Missileer's most common and worst mistake. Yeeting missiles at a PD heavy build over and over again to get them all destroyed. He's also no longer screening for one of Xenopon's range. It's going to start eating 450 shells. Oh man, that is not pleasant. Especially with a basic CIC, that's really bad. Glonk, yeah, there goes the Pinard. It's a range with just a stock drive. Not gonna be able to maneuver that effectively. There's some MNs coming up here, and they're gonna. Those 100 mils are gonna tear everything to shreds very quickly.
Eclipse.
Monster's gotten the Mama Zesty around the bottom side of the map and onto Echo. It's a bit of a problem for Internet Explorer. He's only got the 2 points, and now he's about to only have 1. Very dangerous on the pillars. Good way to lose control of the map real quick. He's also having some problems militarily. He's lost several shuttles. He's taking some damage on a monitor. He's taking a little bit of damage on one of his Cellos. Lost a lot of his buff modules. That's unfortunate. Meanwhile, ANS has lost 1 Corvette and half of a Rains. And about a quarter of another Corvette.
The enemy
It's not very much. And this half of a monitor is about to be not very much of a monitor here with the voxels pounding it inside of the 250 AP and the Glonk. Sprinter glonking it in the nose with torpedoes. Well, the rear compartments are fine for now, but I don't think that's going to last very long. Yeah, it's not lasting very long. Herman is now at the withdrawal line with his Sprinter Armada, trying to get something done. Glad to see him not firing the missiles at the ship that isn't getting damaged by missiles constantly anymore. Oh, nice. Bomb plus the T-30 is doing some good work on this Rains. It's not dying very fast, but it is dying. Wow, here goes the Dela. Maine is still up 4-1. Also up by about 100 points on capping and has a modest military advantage. I don't know. Fake Rail DD is the name of this. So presumably it's, I don't know, it's just like 10 layers of mind games here. So it's like disguised as a rail destroyer. It's named Fake Rail Destroyer. So people are going to see it and be like, oh, that's not a rail destroyer. And then it's going to shoot a railgun and they're going to be like, oh, it is a rail destroyer. I'm going to push it. And then he beams it because it's actually a beam Solomon. What the fuck? What a legend. What is this build? Actual hero. Alright, we got another missile strike going at the Ocello. Although this is a bad angle for the Ocello. Might be having some issues. Yeah, the Sarissas aren't going to be able to kill enough of them. And the Aurora on the roof isn't going to be able to help. Glonk. Ooh, that's painful. All into the lower and rear section of this Ocello. Magazine red and on fire. Not good. The overwhelming power. Power overwhelming. I can't do my Archon voice right now. Unfortunately.
The enemy is
You may have noticed I've got a little bit of a gunked up throat, but such is the way of things. Neb. And for some reason, Neb for me has become watching other people Neb and commenting on it.
The enemy is securing zone eclipse.
Plasming, well, attempting to plasma the voxels. They're over dodging pretty effectively. It's unfortunate the Solomon's right here. He's even got an angle. Might not realize it's a Solomon yet. And IE's AMM's having not a great time versus all these S3Hs. Oh, yikes. That's a little embarrassing there. AMM's going out, chasing S3Hs, and then not landing, chasing them back, and flying directly into your own vessel. AMM's, of course, HE frag doesn't do damage to ships, but still very funny.
The enemy secured zone eclipse.
Now the voxels are getting shelled by the bomb, and I'm pretty sure that doesn't have the damage, or the armor penetration to damage them meaningfully. Yeah, it doesn't look like it. There's no plasma on these yet. There goes the beams all in. Wait, this is called a baked plot. Oh, can I see other people's, yeah. I didn't know you could do that in spectator view. You can see other people's, designations? I don't remember what they're called. And you've got, like, the actual name, and then you've got a, utility name that you can give your ships that only your team can see. Spectators can see them too, apparently. Today I learned. How long have I been doing this, by the way? Plasma getting onto the fake rail DD. But it's also getting into range and just beaming Internet Explorer's firebase, which is going to be a real problem. Plasma is important, and it's going to add up, and it's going to make the beam Solomon very weak. But Plasma's on the wrong side of the vessel relative to the 250 ship, and the 250 ship is also dying. Might not be much in the way of follow-up for that, especially considering what's happened to the 450 Cello, although it is still alive and it is still shooting.
The enemy
Firing HE broadside onto this Solomon. Hasn't had all his armor plasma off yet, but it's not looking good. Lost the Masquerade. Unfortunate. More combat. During all of this, by the way, so the monitors pushed over the top of the map onto Charlie. They killed the Reigns that was up here. They've capped it. Internet Explorer's not quite back in the game yet, but he's not just out. He has lost Bravo, and I don't think he's going to be able to take it anytime soon. Got Charlie, Echo. I think he can get shape on Delta and cap Delta with his gun monitor push brigade, which has been, I mean, the highest performing vessels out of his fleet yet. Solo eating a lot of 250 in the nose, but that's not that big of a deal. Although it's not... Yeah, okay, never mind. It's not at the perfect angle, and some of that 250 is going into blast points from missiles.
The enemy is securing zone eclipse.
It's gonna punch right through that armor, because there's no armor there. Internet Explorer might be able to make it onto Alpha with Chungaloid monitor. It's eating lots of 250 in the nose. He needs to, like, angle the damn thing to not be pointing nose onto the boxes. Taking out the C90s down. 12k is a lot to micro. It's hard to do little micro tricks like that. The big strike on the Alamo, eating quite a few more missiles. Oh, the Beam Solomon right on top of the 250 Bulker, tearing it to shreds. Look at all those blast marks from the beam. Yeah, I think that's basically all beam, actually. There's a couple of rail holes in between the beam holes, but it's brutal. Brutal! How many missiles does Herman have left? Because, yeah, he's running out of missiles, and all he's managed to do is heavily damage one Ocello and heavily damage one plasma liner. That's unfortunate. Sometimes that's the way missile gaming goes. It's a cutesy-wootsy build, though. I think if you would have spent less time firing at the Ocello, which is designed to defeat missiles, that would have gone a lot better for him. Just take the Giga flank, get behind the lines, and blast the bulkers. And then let the Beam Solomon cut down the Ocellos. But oh well. ANET's still very ahead. They're losing Alpha. They're grabbing Echo. Or ungrabbing Echo? OSP was capping it, no.
The enemy is securing zone
OSP also trying to cap Delta. There we go. IE 150 points down. I think this is his last blast. Oh, these are all S1s actually. Okay, so they're not really doing that much. But Internet Explorer does not have that much left in the way of combat ships. He's got one mostly healthy C-50 Bulker, two beat to fuck but still functional, still fighting fit Ocellos. And all these... Oh, yikes. Well, a couple of monitors that are healthy and capable of fighting. And I mean, they're out on the map, they're out playing the cap game, they're out fighting the Reigns, and you know what's gonna beat dumpy little gun reins on controlling caps. Sure, the gun reins might beat the multi-mission tug. I ain't gonna beat a monitor. I ain't gonna beat the new monitor anyways. For those of you who don't know, new monitor has higher armor, and this is probably the 48 armor version, because that's what has been sort of generally agreed on as the balanced version. And of course has the rejiggered C60, which is now the C90. Fires a big exploding bomb. That's what we've been saying. Explode on reins. Oh. Yeah, the beam will definitely kill a monitor and kill it fast. Maybe not. Might be just far enough away. Man, sure would be cool if I could see the range between these two. Might be just far enough away that the beam can't reach into the rear compartments. That is fucking wild. So Internet Explorer gonna have Alpha. Gonna probably keep Alpha. He needs a 4th point at this point though. How behind he is on score. 3-2 ain't gonna cut it. Tab 5. I don't think he has detection on these. Yeah, he does on one of them. So he's gonna come around here and try to fight this Reigns, which is gonna go very well for the monitor. Does he just have ball? No, he's got some HE. Yeah, nice 120 nerd. Of course, the monitor is still kind of slow and fat, so isn't able to effectively orient its nose. Yeah, stock drives. It doesn't matter. The T-30 tearing this thing apart. Very, very fast. I-3's bulk freighters eating a ton of these dumpy S1s. Man, these are doing a lot more work than I was expecting. Look at them go. Lobster moving on to Alpha should be able to cap the point. Also doing a good job of switching armor sides. Keeping that plasma to angle away from his opponents. Although that might be changing shortly. That might not be intentional based on these maneuverings. IE downs. The Reigns trying to cap Delta. Takes out the reactor and the drive. No restores. See you later. Womp womp. Gonna be able to keep that. Gonna be able to keep Charlie. ANS forces concentrated mostly around Bravo and Echo, but if they can take Alpha back, I think it might just be over. I don't think Internet Explorer has the killing potential to deal with the rest of these ships.
The enemy is securing zone Boxer.
Especially if his poor bulkers are gonna get repeatedly bonked by S1s.
We are contesting zone Boxer.
It's just down to the two 450 SLOs, which are not in great shape. They can fight, but they're not healthy by any stretch of the imagination.
Secured zone Atlas.
A couple of monitors spread all over the place. All these ships can be torn to shreds by the beam Solomon. Interesting to see Lobster in a Solomon. Only Lobster's more of a voxel player. That's been cool to see that. Always fun seeing people play something anathema to their typical style. AE trying to contest Bravo. Slowly killing the sprinter on here. Completely obliterating it with the Z90. Oh, more beams. What are you beaming? Well, dead Bulger, that's what you're beaming. Going in for a desperate Echo Cap. I think it was already almost effectively dead. But now it's not even going to be getting that cap.
The enemy is securing zone Boxer.
He's grabbing Bravo. He downed that sprinter. Or at least ungunned it. Yeah, ungunned it. Let's get away from that. Still camped out on Delta and Charlie. Definitely going to be able to hang on to those until at least the end of the game. He's got to get 4 caps, and I don't see how he does that. I don't know, I've seen him come back from worse. Man's kind of a menace.
The enemy secured zone Boxer.
Apologize if all the sick noises are too disruptive. I've been trying to mute when it's time to sniff or cough or whatever else. But I don't know how effective that is until I actually see the recording, so we'll see. I'm amazed that these Acellos are still alive through all of this. They've eaten so many S3Hs, they've eaten quite a few S1s. They've had a lot of 250 fired at them. Oh, look at the Alamo. Look at it. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's not happy, and it's not firing very fast. But it's fine. It can still fight. It can still kill guys. Quite something. I still having his bitch fight on Bravo. I love these silly little cap combat things where you just say, alright, kill that, and you just leave. And the other player tries desperately to somehow get his ship out alive or steal the cap out from under you while you're paying attention to other things. Very cool. Speaking of cool, this sprinter blob has been all around the map and has not lost any of its mass. It's split off some ships to cap. Actually, no, it's been Xenophon doing that. Yeah, I think this thing has stayed as it is the whole time. Okay, spreading them out a little bit to deal with the bomb. You don't see that very often. Usually sprinter blobs get killed much earlier in the game. Or they do wind up being forced to split off and go after caps. Okay, they're being split off right now. This is like really, really late for this. How long is this recording been going? Yeah, 30 minutes. Quite something. The dedication to the sprinter blob. Very impressive. Ooh. Getting killed by a bomb. Yeah, basic CIC. That's good to know that'll do that. Husky Drew headed over to Delta. I don't think it's going to be able to do anything. Yeah, the Able Lit came over here and just immediately got obliterated by the bomb and the T-30s. If anything else comes over here, the same thing's going to happen. This is kind of a killing field for those sprinters. That's got to be why they're splitting up. Come around the corner, they got 2 anti-swarm monitors facing them with, and the sprinters don't have any more munitions to fight with. So that's going to help a little bit. Oh man, but yeah, here's the problem. Beam Solomon has decided it's time to grab Bravo, and that means this monitor just dies immediately. It can actually do some damage with how standard this armor is. You might even be able to get some HE in there, but probably best to stick with the AP. This isn't blackened. It is in some spots, right in the midsection.
The enemy is securing zone boxer.
Elements are so tough. Hey, you're gonna lose Bravo. It's a shame because I think he's getting shape onto Echo. Yeah, he could capture this soon if he keeps blasting the reins down here with 450 point blank, because that's gonna start adding up real quick. Even with the overpins, it still does damage. Well, maybe not that much damage. Well, if it gets nose on, though. That didn't last long enough for that to mean anything. Nope. And the almost getting jammed. Oh my. And it's back on 3 caps, 200 points ahead. Yeah, now that is officially the ball game.
The enemy
Internet Explorer does not have the juice to deal with this at this point to catch up. I think he needs to. He'd have to 5 cap to win, and he just doesn't have the mass for that. GG! It was an impressive game, though. So this is a 1v4. A really good player. It's got insane micro. Versus 3 Cats, who's a goofball. I mean, he's fine. He's just very new to, like, higher skill games. And so he's kind of learning a little bit on the meta front still. But this is a good build. This is a reasonable build that he's brought. So I do think he's learning, which is awesome to see. Herman, who's a phenomenal player, although we did see a little bit of questionable decision making with the missiles that game, so I do think it's also very late for poor Herman. It's probably like 5 in the morning right now. Lobster, who's a strong player, very strong player, but usually is in voxels, been acquitting himself pretty well in the beam battleship. I like the rail destroyer disguise too. It's really funny. And Lobster might actually be the MVP just with the controlling of the middle of the map and beaming down 2 bulkers, like the main combat bulkers, as well as gapping Echo and Alpha and Bravo. And then Xenovon, who has just suddenly ascended in like 1 month from a good player, an effective player, to a fucking phenomenal player. Oh, I was definitely fighting a tough team. That was a good game. That was a really good game. We've seen so many bombs kill sprinters. It's so funny every time it happens. You see this big airburst next to the blue mark, and suddenly the blue mark becomes the gray mark. Alright, let's get into this battle report. 212 points down. That's not horrible. Could have been closer, but not horrible. Ouch, the Doom getting destroyed so fast before it could get effective plasma. Yeah, 6 hits. That's very painful.
Man, using a masquerade versus a 1v4 is just very mean.
Did it work?
I mean, I'm like, it has to be a keystone. No one uses a masquerade. But then I saw 3 beams. I'm like, oh.
Oh.
Fucking Sarisas, dude.
Yeah. I need to update my MMs. They're not even like optimal anymore, I don't believe. But
I managed to jam them out, the MMs and the Sarisa at one point, so the CVARs did connect. When the CVARs connected, I think they did pretty good.
Wait, it was a 1v4. Oh, I forgot that.
What the fuck did he forget that?
I don't know. It felt like we were fighting 4 different people.
Well done, Internet, then.
Yeah.
That's
You
about the
played
made
highest
it well.
praise you can get.
I'm gonna be honest. There's some things I could tweak in my fleet file, but really the big mistake was that I didn't use those C90s on the Sprinter Swarm. I kind of forgot I had those.
Yeah. I saw the bombshells at one point. I was like, why didn't you use them earlier? I guess. Could you get burn tracks on my Sprinter Swarm? Because I don't know.
Once or twice, but I did have an E-War tug that could have went over and just highlighted you.
Oh, I think I saw that, but it wasn't spotting me. I saw it on Island Crossfix. And that's the first thing I fired at, I think, at the start.
Yeah.
Sivarich.
Did my HEKP do anything to the Alamo?
I mean, I'm busy looking all over the place, so I'm not sure.
It did look pretty, so I mean, it was worth the 200 points I spent on that salvo.
I don't know if the S1s do anything, to be fair, to the anything that's not a bulk trader. The Ocellos just don't suffer them, I feel like.
Not really, but the S1s were very effective against the bulk freighters. So
Yeah, against the bulkies, they work really well.
It was a pretty respectable Beam BB game, I hope.
You did well, because you stayed there. Well done.
Yeah, you just held down the center of the map and, they couldn't do anything about you.
That's
Yeah.
the BMPP experience. That's how you do it.
If you didn't use a masquerade, the game would have been a little bit different, I think.
Masquerade OP, please nerf.
And 1v4, it sucks to fight because you can't like inspect tracks. You're busy just giving out firing orders and such.
Oh,
that's a really good point.
yeah, that's
Mhm.
true.
Those
I
stupid
love
towers.
decoys.
Pretty funny.
I
You
like
had your
the idea of the gun frigates in this cat fleet, but I need to replace them with corvettes just because gun frigates can't do jack or shit about monitors. So
Or Keystones, get Aviat Kung DG.
yeah, I don't know. I just don't fucking like keystones.
I love seeing these tiny accuracy numbers. It makes me so happy. I vox hold correctly.
Pretty happy I was invisible for the part in the game where I could actually do like damage to shit. Just kind of turn myself into a cap fleet at the end. Sprinters disassemble.
Yeah, if I actually utilized those C90 monitors on those sprinters, I think the game would have been a lot different.
No, they didn't do much damage when you used them. It was actually 100mm. The bomb kind of didn't do
Yeah.
nothing.
The bomb, I didn't even use it on your swarm.
No, you used it at the end, though.
At the end, sure, yeah, but at the start, I had 3 monitors with C90s and all the bits and tools they need. It's a thing that I just forgot to use them. I mean, I am rusty at 12Ks, and this is the first time I'm using this.
I saw them and I chose not to shoot them with the CVARs because they just didn't shoot me back. So I said they probably plasma monitor or something like that. Because they would have been a lot easier to hit than the Ocellos. Well, Ocellos seem more priority.
Still, even then, I'm pretty happy how the performance went at the end there.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was good.
That was a pretty good game. I think I covered everything I want to cover at the tail end of that match, and then we've heard from the players. So, with that, I bid you adieu.